Ladies, it's your time to shine with all things fabulous with First for Women on Afternoon Express. For insurance with a host of fabulous benefits, call 0861 11 1844 or SMS FIRST to 49267.
Coming up on Afternoon Express, we catch up with a radiant and beautiful Kgomotso Christopher. Bonang meets a mighty warrior from a different time. We take a look at some creative nail designs. There's a live performance by Qadasi, and in the kitchen, we put a twist on a classic Italian risotto.
Good afternoon, South Africa. Lovely to be back. Welcome to Afternoon Express right here on SABC3. I'm Bonang Mateba.
And I'm Jeannie D.
And I'm Bonnie Mbuli. We've got a hot lineup today. And of course, it's Thursday, so we're talking design, fashion, all your favorite things.
Also, we're going to show you how to bling up those nails. We've got some nail technicians in the house.
We do.
Chi-Chi's going to be here, so make sure you don't go anywhere. And don't forget, we do love interacting with you, so make sure you find us right now on Twitter at Afternoon Chat using our official hashtag Afternoon Express. It is a Thursday. It's all about beauty. It's all about fashion. It's all about looking good. So let's get the show on the road.
Of course, and before we introduce our guests,
yes,
B, you look absolutely amazing.
You.
You look like you're about to be on your worst behavior.
Fleek!
Our fleek!
Wow, and in the loft today, we have Umaqinga and Qadasi, otherwise known as David Jenkins.
Yes.
You told me earlier that Qadasi is your igama lakho lensizwa.
Igama lami, yeah, this is Zulu, yeah, my traditional name.
Oh wow, I can't wait to hear your story. Welcome to the loft.
Thank you so much for having us.
And of course,
my traditional name.
of course, for the right reason.
To find what mine is.
And of course, we have in the house South Africa's most loved actress. Nobody plays that like you do. I love it. Welcome.
Thank you. And as always, we always bring you some of the tastiest treats from our kitchen. And today is no exception as we bring Claire Swanson, product developer from Woolworths, to cook up some healthy treats. What are we making today?
Jeannie, today, thanks for having me, we're going to be doing an amazing pumpkin and sage risotto. And if there are any leftovers, we're going to whip up some arancini.
Looking forward to cooking with you. Thank you so much for joining us on Afternoon Express. Don't go away, because Bonang is now in our lounge with the gorgeous Kgomotso Christopher.
Thank you so much, Jeannie. I'm very excited for our first guest in the loft today. She lights up your screen, she lights up my screens every single night on Isidingo. She plays Kgomotso, the character I think we all love to hate. She's gorgeous, she's talented, she's elegant, and she's in the loft with us today. Ladies, gents, everybody watching Afternoon Express, it is my pleasure to welcome the beautiful Kgomotso Christopher. Gorgeous as ever. Look at you.
Thank you.
Lovely
Likewise,
to see
gorgeous.
you. So the last time I saw you, you were so nice to me on the set of Isidingo when I did my cameo for the Metro FM Music Awards.
Yeah, I was in my dye that day.
Remember? And now you are in my home.
Yes, I
Welcome
am.
to Afternoon Express.
Thank you.
But you have such an interesting story about how you broke into, acting. You were studying in Cape Town, and you auditioned for a cell phone TV ad, and you actually got it. But the callback was in Johannesburg. Tell me about that story.
Well, it was a very crazy story. I was at that point in my second year at UCT. And what had happened was during the holidays, I went home and I auditioned in Joburg. And when the producers found out that I actually live in Cape Town, they went ahead and cast someone else. Then it was like, now we must actually see who's the one. So I actually had to go back to Johannesburg to kind of then fight for the spot, which originally I actually had. They'd cast me, and they'd said, well, we're shooting Joburg, so we need to cast someone else. So yes, I had to go there and just kind of hope and have the faith that, I would get it.
You caught a bus, you missed your classes, and off you went, only to find out that you actually landed, and that's how you got into the industry.
That was the
first,
the first TV commercial that I landed. Yeah,
that's amazing.
It was crazy. I mean, I just called my parents. I said, look, I'm going to do it. All friends of mine. I remember that time it was $250 to get on into Cape or Greyhound. $250. Gathered up the money, all the wardrobe.
But what do you think? Had you not caught that bus, would you have been a lawyer? I mean, you have a BA in law from UCT.
Politics.
Yeah. Would you have been a lawyer?
No, I think I was always going to find my way back into the industry. So I always knew I would study something academically, but always knew I would work. So that's why when I got to Cape Town, I registered, I was in varsity, but I actually had an agent in Cape Town.
Amazing.
So I'd always wanted to juggle it. So I think I would actually finally find my way into the entertainment industry.
And you felt, I mean, I fell in love with this character that you play, Kgomotso on Isidingo. How did that role happen? And how did you, end up being on our TV screens every single day? Did you, like every actress in the country, go through an audition process?
Loads and loads of auditions. And again, it's one of those strange stories. My life seems to run that way. But I was actually a lecturer at Wits when I was cast on Isidingo. So I'm juggling always. So I was actually working at Wits as a lecturer. Auditioned a few months, like while before I actually got the role, and just got a call one day to say, you didn't get a call back, you actually just got the role. So I'd totally forgotten about it, and lo and behold, I was already working as a lecturer. So I kind of had to cut that short and go straight into the acting again.
And this was after you came back from New York, because you also have a master's in fine arts from Columbia University.
Yes.
How was New York, living, working, studying?
New York. It was amazing. It was just so wonderful to kind of be a student in the States. And I was a student of drama, I love stage, and to be actually just down the road from Times Square, I'm watching plays every day, just being a student, kind of absorbing the life of an artist and learning at the same time. It was really incredible for me, yeah.
And I mean, obviously when people go into academics, when you study, you have a BA in law, then you have a master's in fine arts. Were you ever going to use your BA degree? What was the planning prior to you becoming an actress?
I always knew, regardless of whether I was going. I mean, I've been doing performing arts my whole life.
Okay.
I went to the School of the Arts, so I always knew I was going to do drama, but I also always knew I wanted to take the academic route. And I always knew I wanted a post-grad degree, a master's. Didn't know in what, but definitely I always was going to go straight through from undergrad to post-grad. So it just all fell into place, but it was never supposed to be contradictory to my artistry and my creativity, really.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So past Isidingo, do you have plans on maybe doing a feature film, producing, going back into lecturing? What is next?
All of that. I miss lecturing. I miss working in the academic world. My time doesn't allow me to juggle.
Okay.
So I would love to take time to go back into academia. I would love to do film and definitely go back on stage. I'm hoping very soon South Africans will actually get to see me on stage as well.
What kind of production would you do if you were to, land up in theatre?
I have training in the classics, so Shakespeare.
Wow.
But I just love how in South Africa we kind of have like mixed South African Shakespeare. So we have Shakespeare in Africa. So I'd love to do some sort of like umabata, so not the straight classical plays. So something that's like an Afro mix of the classics. I'd love to do something like that.
But you're quite an artistic family. Your husband as well is...
no, my husband is...
He's not an actor, but he... does he sing?
Sort of. Heard him sing somewhere? Do tell.
Somewhere
in the grapevine.
But what I'm saying, you're all kind of artistic. Let's leave it in the house.
I think, I mean, his profession, he's a lawyer, but he is one of those who's like a holistic person who likes to kind of dabble in all of that. He does sing in the church choir, so perhaps that's the grapevine you've heard. I don't know.
I do my research. Okay, I do my research, girl. All right. So if your kids were to come back to you and say, "Hey, you know what, Mom? I want to be an I want to be an actress. I want to be a TV presenter." No. Why?
I'm a parent now. My parents did this to me, as in you're not going to act, and I was like, "But you've got to let people have their dreams." And I'm a mom now, and
so hell no.
My little girl did a board where it's like, what do you want to be in future? And the board was like, I want to be an actress. And I'm like, whoa. So I'm not raising a doctor, hey? But
But she has an actress role model living with her.
She really does. It's not fair for me not to. But I think I'll be like my parents. Even if you want to be a designer or an artist, kind of have a backup plan. Definitely go to school. Definitely get a skill.
Yeah. And that's what I love, that they actually have somebody at home who has a master's, has a BA. So they have two choices, academia or art.
Absolutely.
You are absolutely ravishing, by the way.
Thank you.
You are like drop dead gorgeous. Anyway, thank you very much. You're still going to be with us. We're going to serve you some nice dinner. We're going to hang. There's a performance coming up. So stick around, all right? Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you.
Amazing. Let us know what you think about Kgomotso Christopher that you watch on Isidingo. Isidingo every single night right here on SABC3. You can tweet us at Afternoon Chat using our official hashtag Afternoon Express. Don't go anywhere after the break. Talking about dinner, we're going to start part 1 of that delicious risotto. Don't move.
Express yourself. Express yourself.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, life is not a fairy tale. Pumpkins are for eating, not for transport. So welcome to our kitchen.
Thank you very much.
We are going to make some pumpkin risotto today.
100% with a little bit of a sage flavouring. Pumpkin and sage are a perfect marriage. So what we're going to do is take it up a notch and just roast the butternut beforehand. But I'll get you going with some of the quick things to do, which is roasting our butternut. So, Jeans, what we need to do is just pop that onto a baking sheet.
With the pips?
Yeah, you can roast that. The flavour is actually in the seed, so if you roast it later on, we'll take it off. So just put that onto your baking sheet. Simple, salt and pepper and a little bit of olive oil. And we'll put that into an oven and roast it at a nice high temperature.
Great, we'll do.
Okay.
Let's do that. Next, we just rearrange the kitchen.
So you just add them straight on the tray. And we're going to roast that just to intensify the flavour, as opposed to putting in just chopped butternut or chopped pumpkin.
All right, and I just do...
Seasonings, some black pepper, some salt, and I'll get the olive oil drizzle over that.
Some salt.
So this is going to go into the oven, nice and hot, about 200 degrees for about 20 to 30 minutes, just until it is a beautiful colour as well.
I do love pumpkin. It's such a nice vegetable.
And if you don't like pumpkin or you can't get it, you can change it to butternut as well.
Okay.
So let's whack that into the oven.
That's in the oven?
Yeah. So what we'll do is get the risotto going. Lots of people are often scared of cooking risottos, but it's actually really simple. And the best tip is to have all your ingredients prepped before you start cooking.
I think a risotto is intimidating because it's easy to get wrong.
Yeah, and also it's about having the texture just right. But people have different preferences. Some people like it creamy, some people like it a bit drier. We're going to try to get it as best as we can today. So the ingredients for our risotto is about 1 onion chopped. And we'll show you a quick little tip, Jeannie, for not getting onion all over the studio or all over your kitchen. The tip is actually just to keep...
not crying.
And not crying, is to actually keep the root in place, because that actually keeps the whole onion or the bulb. So what I'll do is just slice it down the middle. We'll do half. And with your really sharp knife, just sort of chop down incisions towards the roots as close as you can, because we want the ingredients as fine as possible. And then with the knife, go across, sort of in the middle. And then just watch this. If you just do a little quick chop, everything's nicely sliced into fine pieces without you having to do a big chop on the board. And if you don't want to have your eyes tearing, someone's told me just to chew gum or keep your mouth moving, and that stops you from tearing. Right.
Do you know what I do to not cry while chopping onions?
Not chop.
I don't chop onions.
Okay, so into our pan, let's get our risotto going. A little bit of butter, as well as some olive oil, not too high. And the butter, if you add a bit of olive oil, actually stops the butter from burning. So we're going to add in our chopped onion, as well as our carrots and celery. It's about 1 of each. All right. Not too high a heat, because you just want to sweat those ingredients down. Now, that's going to be the base of your risotto. Pop that down. And risotto is all about the rice. It's not about any type of rice. It's about a specific type of rice called arborio, which is this one over here. It's a short grain rice, so it gives you that creamy texture you want in a risotto. Have a look at it. It's just a little short, and they have a lot of starch in them.
Almost than a normal rice grain.
Yeah, and it's the same type of rice you'll use for a paella or a Spanish paella as well.
Oh, delicious.
Okay, so we're just sweating that down till it's got a little bit of a translucent color on the onion, just like that. And then what we're going to do is add in our risotto rice. So the rice, the tip for that in terms of portion is to just go with sort of a handful for the amount of guests you're having. Okay. So we're going to cook for our...
That's a great
6.
tip. So if there's 6 guests, 6 handfuls.
6 handfuls. So we'll add about 6 of those in. 4, 5.
Yeah,
6.
We've got a full house today. We've got a lot of people to feed.
And also I want to show you later how to make some arancini. So they say if you get given lots of risotto leftovers, you can make arancini, which are these little...
Okay, what is an arancini?
Actually, it's just a little snack, but using leftover risotto, we're going to roll them in little balls, dredge them with some breadcrumbs and fry it as a nice little antipasti.
Nice.
All right, so you can see I've just added in the risotto rice now. and you just want to slowly cook it. So the key thing with risotto is it's about being at your pan all the time. So you've got to spend at least 20 minutes loving and taking care of that risotto. So next to it, make sure you've got a good stock. I'm using vegetable stock right now because it's a vegetable risotto. If you're using a chicken one, chicken. If you're using a fish one, fish-based. So we just have some vegetable stock in hot water, and we've brought it up to a nice hot heat. The key thing about having it hot is that when you add it to the pan, it's continuous cooking. Cold stock, no. And then we've got some white wine. So we're going to add a little bit of the white wine to our risotto, and you can, more than welcome, just add that into me over here. Turn up the heat.
There you go.
Just about a glass. And the tip here as well, you get a little bit more. Perfect. You could use red wine as well. It's going to give you quite a darker color on your risotto. But what you want to make sure is that that wine actually reduces and evaporates first. So the thing is not to flood it with too much liquid. It's about one ladle at a time. You add your stock, one ladle, until all that liquid evaporates.
And the alcohol in the wine actually cooks out.
Yeah, so it actually cooks out in this case and just concentrates and gives you a beautiful flavor to your risotto. So I'm going to crank up the heat.
And how
a bit.
long are we going to leave this on the stove for now?
So it's about 20 minutes with the stock, and then at the end we're going to finish and season with all our flavorings. Add that pumpkin back in, as well as our sage butter, and that's going to finish the risotto.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Learning to cook with us on Afternoon Express. And if you do want to cook with us in the afternoons, you can get our shopping lists and all of our recipes on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. Right now, though, Bonang is on the couch with Qadasi.
Thank you so much, Jenny. All right, you got the click going on. I see you. But hailing all the way from the heart of Zululand. Now, our next guest has made waves with his traditional maskandi jam. So you're probably asking yourself, what makes him unique? Well, first of all, his name is David Jenkins, darling. And he's joining us in the loft today to talk about his amazing career and, of course, his love for maskandi. Joining him as an King. Yeah. Welcome. Lovely to have you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Welcome to Afternoon Express.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, I think anybody that's watching this is how David ended up being Qadasi and falling in love with traditional maskandi music.
Yeah.
Where did the journey begin for you?
Well, growing up in Mpangeni, which is in the heart of Zululand, I used to accompany my father, who was my late father, who was a journalist with the Mercury, and he would go to traditional events around Zululand, and he'd cover those events, and I joined him, and I found it fascinating, you know, the culture, and so that was what sparked my interest. And then I watched, I think I was 9, I watched Shaka Zulu, the miniseries. And that was where my interest really developed, and I decided I wanted to learn about the people around me. And it just got more and more passionate, and then I picked up maskandi, traditional Zulu music, and started listening to Puza Khemisi, Hashela Mhlophe, Mfazi Omnyama, maskandi greats. And then I later discovered Johnny Clegg, who was the pioneer of fusing traditional maskandi with rock and Celtic and more Western styles. And yeah, it just grew from there, and I then decided I wanted to follow in the footsteps of my idols, and I got my first guitar, and yeah, just before I matriculated, I was able to meet Makunga, and we met in Durban, and that was where the professional journey began.
Fantastic. Baba, unjani?
You're right, Bonang.
Ngiyaphila, baba. Masixoxe kancinci about lo bhuti lo, uDavid. Uhlangane naye kuphi, baba?
Ngihlangane naye eDurban. Like sisuka empangeni kwintanewa A1 yabo. Ngijabule kakhulu ukuhlangana naye ngesikhathi ngihlangana naye 2009 yeah. Ngavele ngabona ukuthi ngase ngicabanga uJohnny Clegg ukuthi ngoba uJohnny Clegg kwaba yiwana akaze bekhona omunye yabo.
Yebo baba.
Ngase ngiyabona ukuthi yathi siyamthola wesibili yabo.
All right.
Manje ilokhu ngimfundisa kancane hayi njengamanje right kakhulu.
Right kakhulu. Now Qadasi, was it difficult, you know, as a white person, as David, being accepted into the Zulu culture? How was the response when you said, I want to do maskandi music, and then, you know, because, you know, the Zulu tradition, they're very territorial. They love their music. They're very protective of their culture and what it stands for.
No, you're right. Well, this all started at a young age. So slowly the community, especially in Mpangeni, you know, knew about David, who was interested in the Zulu culture. And then when it became serious and professional in 2009, 2010, when I released my first album, it was interesting. I was very fortunate to the support I got from the general communities around Durban and just around KZN. Was generally incredibly supportive, and
I think around the country even. I mean, you have a South African Music Award nomination. You were nominated for the South African Traditional Music Awards as well. Did you think it would have such a positive response, or you know, such a positive reception from everybody?
Back then, I was just doing what I loved. You know, I loved playing traditional maskandi music, and I obviously wanted to follow in the footsteps of my idols, but I never thought I'd get to this stage. It's amazing.
It really is fantastic. But David, what I want to know is, do you live the Zulu culture, or do you speak? You still stay in KwaZulu-Natal? How does your day look like? It must be quite fascinating.
Very interesting.
What do you do all day?
Never a dull moment.
Tell me about it. A day in the life of Qadasi. From when you wake up.
Well. Firstly, I've got an amazing team. I was very fortunate enough to start working with Spongiseni Shabalala when I got into this through Maqinga. And so Spongiseni is my label manager, and I have other people working alongside me, but I do the general management. So a day for Qadasi is, you know, working out logistics for upcoming performances, interviews, and so on. And then also, and when it comes to a day of performances, it's just, I absolutely love it, especially going into rural KwaZulu-Natal, you know, and been doing so much together with Maqinga recently. It's absolutely, I mean, and Maqinga is so wise, and his knowledge is amazing. So it's incredibly interesting.
It really is. For me, it's still so fascinating. I'm sitting here thinking, wow, of all the music genres that you could have chosen, it really is amazing. And, you know, do you think your late father is proud of you?
I think so. He apparently played 13 instruments when he was younger. We only ever saw him play a bit of piano, and so music is very strong in the family. And I'd like to think that he's proud of.
Are you proud of yourself?
Yeah,
you feel good?
I feel good. Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, well, I can't wait for your performance a little bit later. Thank you so much, Baba Siyabonga.
Thank you.
It's so lovely to see the both of you. Make sure you don't go anywhere. They are going to be performing for us right here in the loft. My question to you is, have you ever wanted to explore a career in costume design? Well, if the answer to that question is yes, make sure you don't go anywhere. After the break, South Africa's #1 costume designer, MOIRA, is here and is going to be giving us the 411. Don't move.
Express yourself.
South Africa, are you with us?
Welcome back to Afternoon Express here on SABC3. Fashion is a hot topic on Afternoon Express, and we've spoken to some of South Africa's top designers, but today we're approaching it from a different angle. In our favorite films and television shows, we're swept away to different worlds and ancient times where characters are clothed in imaginative costumes or styles from days gone by. And joining us now is veteran costume designer MOIRA MEYER to give us some insight into her fascinating career. Welcome to the loft, MOIRA.
Hi.
So, costume design is a very specialized area of design. What does your job entail?
Well, firstly, when you think in terms of fashion, then every girl always wants to be a fashion designer.
Yes.
But very early in my life, I decided that after fashion school, that maybe there's other avenues of creativity that you can apply within a fashion design capacity.
Right.
And I was lucky enough to have somebody who was working in television at the time, and they said, well, why don't you come and be a wardrobe assistant? And I thought, well, that sounds interesting. And so that's how I entered the industry. I really started right from the bottom, freshly out of fashion school, and I became a wardrobe assistant.
Wow. And then you obviously then broke into the international market.
Yeah, I think that through the years, you basically just climb the ladder, you know.
Yes.
I know that
Well, through hard work.
Yes, already in the first year of my life as a wardrobe assistant, I wanted to be the designer, of course.
Yes.
Yes, so then you basically just take each project as they come, and then I suppose 30 years later, you can call yourself the costume designer.
Of course. And I mean, it's something you have to really love, because my sister does costume on films, and
Yes.
the hours are rigorous. What is expected of you is just huge. How do you cope with the hours?
Well, they do say that if you work in film and in the media like yourself as well,
Yes.
you're basically married to the job.
Yes, you are. You're right.
So very early in your life, you have to realize that although people think you're working with the big stars and it's glamorous and things, it really is.
It's hard work.
It's hard work.
Yes.
But I love every minute of it.
We all do. So what local and international productions have you worked on?
Well, in my early part of my career in the 80s, I worked basically on the local scene. I did all the classic old South African SABC television series. I did Honor
Shaka
Engele,
Zulu.
I did Honor Engele, I did Konings, I did a lot of those. I did The Big Time with Frank Opperman.
Wow.
So that was sort of those years. And then I basically left South Africa for a while. I worked internationally, and then I came back to Cape Town in the 90s.
Okay.
And that was a fantastic time to be back in
Right.
Cape Town, because Cape Town boomed as an international destination for
film.
for film and for
Right.
commercials, actually.
Yes, yes.
So I sort of took on both parts. You know, I took on films. I became like an assistant costume designer first on big international jobs, and later on, like I am today, asked to actually costume design my
An
own.
HOD, the
Yes.
head of department,
Yeah.
that is. So you've brought along a costume that you want to explain to us, because
Yes.
you do a lot of period pieces.
Yes, I actually did. I did a movie called Northman: A Viking Saga. That's going to be most probably released a little bit later this year on our screens. And I specialize in what you call historical dramas.
Yes.
It's my 5th project in the genre,
Okay.
and it's basically, if you look at it, it looks like the real thing.
It does.
But it actually.
Wagner, you look like the real
Yeah,
thing.
you do
feel like
that.
the real
Yes.
thing.
So,
here the whole
I mean,
day.
it looks like metal, and it tastes like metal, but it isn't metal. So it's really, it makes it easier for everybody in the world these days to work with costumes in the genre when they actually are light and not bogged down by the weight of the costume.
So what is the biggest production you've ever worked on, and how many costumes did you have to make?
Well, I must say that the historical dramas have huge amounts of costumes. Like you can dress 1,000 people in a like a big scene say for instance a market at a
In one scene?
yeah,
1,000.
yeah, you can. I mean, I know that these days they also do tremendous work with digital multiplication.
Right.
But still, even for digital multiplication, you still need to have a core example of people that they then multiply. And I must say that with digital multiplication, if it's not a lot of money spent on it, then people also can see it. It has to be seamless.
Yes,
Otherwise,
right.
the audiences are no fools these days. You have to be very careful when you work in film or in television series these days, because you better spend the money, otherwise you lose the audience, because they will just say, oh, well, that show's worth nothing, because they don't do it properly.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's a huge challenge. Fortunately for me as the designer, the moment the costumes leave the page, I basically very much sort of step into the background, because then the team is running with it. You
Is
know,
running
I mean,
with it.
I've got my latest project, I've got 80 in the costume department.
Who have been the best actors or actresses to dress?
Well, I suppose we all have our favorites.
Yes, we all do.
Yes. Well, I did work with Ray Fiennes in The Hurt Locker.
Wow.
Yeah, and for me, he was always somebody, and also Guy Pearce actually was also in The Hurt Locker.
gosh.
And then I once did a 1930s project with Salma Hayek and Colin Farrell together.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Wow.
And Colin Farrell, yeah, gorgeous person. I mean, I think that in our world, one of the things I have discovered is that they're really just ordinary people.
They're just ordinary people, just really good at what they do.
And they have all got their own insecurities and things, and their own little things that they need attention with.
And they're really good looking.
And they're good looking, I mean, that helps.
You have such an exciting job. Now, any young person watching right now and they're saying they want to get into this industry, what advice would you give them?
Well, firstly, I was actually saying earlier today that inside of our industry, there are actually so many different divisions and so many different talents and skill sets that you can apply. Like, for instance, in my department, I need a digital illustrator.
Yeah.
And I think that's an incredible job for any young person these days who's studying, maybe is still doing computer stuff at school even, that they can just join some animation school or even teach themselves some skills, especially if they've got a sense of an eye for fashion.
Yes.
And they can become a digital illustrator.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, and in my time, I never even knew that something like a digital illustrator would be needed.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. It was a pleasure being here.
Stay with us. After the break, risotto gets a new twist. We check out the latest in nail art trends, and Qadasi performs right here in the loft.
Express yourself.
My name is David Lisedi. It takes me a very long time to get home from work. So I miss the thing that really matters to me every day. But today, thanks to Nedbank, my dream has come true.
Daddy's got a car.
You too can make the things that really matter happen. Simply open and use a Nedbank account. Tell us your dream, and you could win it.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express, and we are cooking this Thursday afternoon, quite literally. How's our risotto coming?
Yeah, it's been going for about 20 minutes now, which is perfect. The rice grains are just that perfect little translucent, but still a bit al dente.
How do you know when your risotto is perfectly al dente? How do you test, other than the taste test?
So when you bite on the actual grain, it's got a little bit of give. It doesn't just fall into mush, and that's the perfect. The same for pasta. So we're just going to start flavoring our risotto. We've got some of our pumpkin, and this is the result of our roasted pumpkin.
That's what I made?
Yes, that's what you made.
Wow,
Thank you very much.
Impressive. I do say so myself.
I've just chopped them up, and we're going to pop that into our risotto, as well as some grana padano or some Parmesan cheese.
Delicious. I'll do this because, quite like Bonang, I'm a cheese girl, and you can never have too much.
Absolutely. And this is your seasoning, actually. So you don't have to, you need to check at the end. That's your saltiness. Perfect. And then lastly, I told you about the sage, which is that amazing sort of aromatic, very amazing herb.
Oh, that is delicious.
So I've just fried it in just a knob of butter. So it goes nice and crispy, and we're going to put that in as our flavouring. Again, like I said, pumpkin and sage are a match made in heaven this winter.
Love using fresh herbs.
Great. All we need to do is incorporate these into our risotto and plate up a little bit later for all our guests.
Fantastic.
So what we're going to do is show you what to do with some of those leftovers if you were to ever come across some leftovers in your risotto.
I don't know if there would ever be leftovers of this in my house. However, that looks quite interesting as well.
So all we've done is taken that risotto, put it onto a baking sheet and let it chill, okay? Let it get as cold as possible. You could add an extra bit of Parmesan cheese just to increase that nuttiness. But what we're going to do is form little rice balls, which we're going to dredge, so flour, egg, and a bit of breadcrumbs, and then fry them up. It really works.
I like this part.
It works if you just get your hands a little bit damp so the rice doesn't stick against it.
And I did wash my hands before.
And then grab the 2 tablespoons, and you want, let me show you one, sort of about a big tablespoon's worth, and get that into...
while you do, so that we can have a few going.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these work great as a little antipasti or snack, and then carefully just thrust it in a little bit of flour, And you...
Okay, this is where I should have focused a little bit more at primary school. My ball looks a bit like a... It's an octagon.
It's rustic. It's Italian and it's rustic and it works. And we're going to pop that from the egg into our breadcrumbs.
Okay.
There we go.
Let's just play with that a bit. How's that?
Perfect. So that
We're doing this
flour,
right.
that is perfect. The flour actually helps for the egg to stick, and then that helps for the breadcrumbs to stick onto that.
And what is the point of all of this, so that it doesn't crumble when you fry it?
Yeah, and so you form a really nice crisp crust on the outside, because the rice is going to be nice and cheesy and sort of fall apart because it is creamy. Pop it onto a plate. Get it into a fridge and let it set there for about 15 to 20 minutes, because if it's firmer, it's going to not fall apart in the fryer.
Okay, this is actually very fun. Remember, if you want to cook with us at home, be sure to visit our website for all of the ingredients and for all of the recipes. And you can literally watch TV while you're cooking in the kitchen and join us, because this is very enjoyable.
Awesome.
Okay,
There we go.
pop that in there.
Perfect.
I'm having so much fun
We've got
doing
a nice
this.
little production
Who
line
would
going.
have thought? Okay, so while we wait for that to settle, should we go and do something a little bit more me? Bonnie is standing by having her nails done. Odds.
Thank you so much, Jeannie. Indeed, she is. She's sitting right here with a nail design and nail artist to the stars, Chi-Chi. So whether you like me, you know, like things simple, or you like a little bit of design, she's here to tell us exactly what all your favorite celebrities are doing when it comes to nail art. Chi-Chi, lovely to see you. She does my nails, by the way.
Wow.
She is my nail girl.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's lovely to have you in Afternoon Express. Tell us the finishing touches that you're doing right now on Bonnie.
Okay, so we've got the Africa silhouette over here, and then she wanted hearts as well, so I'm using a dotting tool.
What are some of the trends this winter? What are we doing this season? What should we be putting on our nails?
I think with nail art, it's become very minimalistic, and I mean, it's still there. So you've got the reverse mani, you've got the floating mani, which is nail art on either bare nails or on a nude color. So it actually looks like the nail art is floating on your nails. Yeah.
I want to actually watch you do it, and then I want you to kind of walk us or talk us through what the technique is and what we should be doing if I want to be doing this at home.
Okay, so this is a dotting tool, and it helps you create perfect sized dots.
Okay.
So I'm actually using this to create the top part of the heart, and then I'm going to use my paintbrush to finish off the heart.
Chichi, what is the most craziest design that you've ever created for somebody?
Okay, well, it's actually something that I did for myself. And I think it would be the Madiba nails that I did for his 95th birthday.
nails.
And I've actually reposted that a few times on my Instagram
On your
account.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right.
Yeah.
What's your Instagram account name?
China Girl.
China girl.
Okay.
All right, let's see how you
find
create
you.
these hearts. I mean, you cannot have a shaky hand, right?
No, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't be like painting your nails.
The trick is to keep your arms flat on the table.
Oh,
so.
all right.
right.
Let's see.
Right.
And what are some of your favorite celebrities wearing, Chichi? Have you seen somebody that was like really awesome that you were really a bit jealous of their nail design?
Well, there's a lot of celebrities that have been sporting nail art. Lily Allen, Rihanna, Katy Perry, and I think Zooey Deschanel, she was the one that started the whole
Nail art
trend.
trend.
Yeah.
To get a clean, easy to paint on nail, what do you need? Do you need a top coat, a bottom coat? Do you need to,
I would recommend
add a clear enamel? What do you need?
I would recommend base coat because that'll protect your nails, and then a top coat after the color as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so how many hearts are we doing here?
So we're gonna do 5.
That's awesome. Well, to see all these designs, to get Chi-Chi's information, make sure that you log on to our website, www.afternoonexpress.co.za. This is very exciting.
Very.
And you need to be patient. It's quite soothing, isn't it? Do you love your job?
Yeah, it's something that I enjoy doing, so...
Fantastic. Kgomotso, have you ever had your nails did?
I'm also a very simple girl,
Yeah.
and also I'm always limited by my characters, and I'm always in continuity.
I was
So,
about to say.
yes.
So you can't go crazy over the weekend, but come Sunday night,
Yeah.
you need to be back to Kgomotso.
Absolutely. Or if I change the nail color. But I'm also a very simple person, so normally it's the one color. I've never actually done nail design or art on my nails. I should try.
So, I mean, it's not obviously not only your nails then, it's your hair, it's your weight, it's your skin. So that if on Friday you need to look, on Monday you need to look exactly how you looked on Friday.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, we'll do it on your behalf.
Do we need to smooth my little map there?
Yeah, we can add a top coat on afterwards.
All right.
Awesome.
A little bit later, I'm going to be getting some crowns, maybe a little queen bee on my nails. So Chi-Chi's going to do that for me. Plus, we have a manicam. We're going to have a bit of a
we're going to have a
walk-off.
showdown.
It's going to be a showdown. Bee versus bee. I hope you guys are ready. It's going to be fantastic. Also, Qadasi is going to be performing for us in the loft, and we're going to be chowing down on that delicious risotto. Don't move. More Afternoon Express right here on SWC3 straight after the break.
Express yourself.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express here in the loft on SABC3. Now it is my absolute pleasure to present to you Qadasi performing Uyang Bambezela. Enjoy.
Uyangithanda yini wena ntombi tatazela kangaka uyangithanda yini I've been waiting for so long for the answer to my ever-fading puzzle. Please darling, won't you end these childish games and let's move on to the final level. Wena ntombi tatazela kangaka uyangithanda yini wena ntombi tatazela kangaka uyangithanda yini Ayisuka uyangibambezela ayisuka uyangithanda phela unqome 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 Ngozwane ubhala phansi uyacisha vele unqome ubhala phansi ngozwane ubhala phansi uyacisha vele unqome Is it a yes or a no? A yawning. Do you love me? Should I let you stay on, baby? Oh, love is pure, our love is great. Please don't let it go to waste. Stand to our side, me. Wena ntombi tatazela kangaka uyangithanda yini wena ntombi tatazela kangaka uyangithanda yini ubhala phansi ngozwane ubhala phansi uyacisha wena unqome ubhala phansi ngozwane ubhala phansi uyacisha wena unqome Ayisuka uyangibambezela ayisuka uyangithanda wena unqome Ayisuka uyangibambezela ayisuka uyangithanda wena unqome
gentlemen. Thank you.
That is absolutely brilliant. Johnny Clegg, watch out. We have another white Zulu in the country. Okay, so now we're all done.
Yes, we've plated up our risotto very simply in a beautiful bowl family style. And I've picked up some extra sage, and we actually reserved some of the pumpkin to just put that as a centerpiece. Let's just, and that's the arancini. So we've just fried them for about 4 minutes. In the oil, and that come out golden brown and crispy, and we're gonna just, what's a bit of extra Parmesan cheese? So we're gonna put some on our risotto, and then also a little bit over the arancini, and that's as simple as it could be. That's it.
I hope you guys are hungry.
We are very hungry.
This
very
looks
ready.
Amazing.
Okay,
let's go serve
incredible.
our guests.
Imagine that.
That's
that
amazing.
looks fantastic. Well done,
Arancini.
Arancini.
I made them all myself,
Great,
of course.
great job. Oh, wow, Claire.
You did an amazing job. Thank you, Claire.
You're welcome.
Spectacular.
And because these are finger foods, and like we said, Shichi was here doing our nails, making sure that we look absolutely fantastic. We're going to have the little Manny off. There we go. We have our very own Manny can right here on Afternoon Express. So do you want to go first?
Oh, the pressure.
Let's work together, Diana.
There you go. Fantastic. Chichi, thank you so much. During the break, she put a crown and a little letter B on my nails, which I absolutely love. That is fantastic. So thank you very much for that. Amazing stuff. Thank you so much, Chichi. Claire, thank you for the delicious dinner. Looks fantastic.
It does.
All right, let's eat, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to go and get a serving spoon.
Yeah, while she does that, a quick reminder, www.afternoonexpress.co.za. A big thank you to Kgomotso. Make sure that you catch her on Isidingo every single night right here on SABC3. Thank you very much. Do you want to grab some of these and tell us how they go?
Yes.
Grab one quickly.
Thank you so much. Join us tomorrow, same time, same place. Goodbye and happy eating.
Good night. Cheers.
Coming up tomorrow on Afternoon Express, it's an Italian extravaganza with perfect pasta experts Antonio Marchetti and Luciano Previtiera. There's an operatic performance by the Guguletu Tenors. Media personality Fat Joe takes us through a day in his life, and we proudly introduce the brand new addition to the Afternoon Express team. Presenter search on 3 winner Danilo Acquisto.
Another feel-good production.
Join us next time for more fabulous fun inspired by First for Women on Afternoon Express. For an insurance quote, call 0861 11 18 44 or SMS FIRST to 49267.